Yes, hello. I am James Rowland. Today it's the WNR566. It's WWE Night of Champions. I'm not alone. Have the pleasure to be joined by the entire WNR team. Up first by my side for every WWE and AEW show. It is the fantastic Jaxie Scarlett. How's it going, Jaxie?
Hello, hello. It's been a while since we've done one, so I'm very excited to get back to the Prediction League.
You would say that. Why'd you have to start off like that for? All right. You
Because
know,
right
why?
now I'm actually not crumbling right now. I'm supposed to be, pointing out my achievements going into this. No? Or is it all meant to be about you, James? I'm so
No, it's,
sorry.
it's,
Didn't
it's, it,
realize that.
there's one thing. It's not about me. It's not about me. All right.
Exactly.
Any Oh, nice to see you, Jax. Up next, our resident NXT expert and New Japan demigod. It is Monty. How's it going, man?
Going great. I'm excited to be here. As I am the only humble member of this show, only person who, seem to keep their ego in check when it
Mm,
comes to things like predictions and stuff. Yeah, I said the word again, James. But
okay.
I am excited to be here, though. We got not a lot to talk about, but we still gonna have fun and catch up. Because like we got a lot coming up, so it's better to be ahead or be right where we need to be instead of behind right now because 3 weeks from now, that's like what 7 shows done almost it feels like. So yeah, we got a lot to do. So I'm excited to be here to do it.
Yeah, without a doubt. And last but by no means least, all my life I've been waiting for you to bring a fairy tale my way. Been living in a fantasy without meaning. It's not okay. I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe. Left broken, empty, in despair. Wanna breathe, can't find air. Thought you were sent from up above, but you and me never had love. So much more I have to say. Help me find a way. And I wonder if you know how it really feels to be left outside alone when it's cold outside. Well, maybe you should know how it really feels to be left outside alone, to be left outside alone. I tell ya, all my life I've been waiting for you to bring a fairy tale my way. Been living in a fantasy without meaning. It's not okay. I don't feel safe. I need to pray. It's Gina, everybody. Gina, why did you leave me outside alone? Have make me sing that song.
Listen, yeah,
Oh my God.
this is all your idea. But I was about to come in with some claps to say you don't get enough recognition for your dedication to
Thank you.
singing my intros, and I always appreciate it. What
Reason
That
for
up,
was
that.
Dan?
that was a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. To be fair, but hey, we did it.
Love
You
the
know, it's
accent,
great.
by the way.
You got well
Thank you.
into it.
Oh, I got too much into it, I feel. And a lot of people have switched off right now. But we are live, of course, don't forget. And we have Night of Champions, the review coming up, notes from Raw and Smackdown. But first, we have the SummerSlam kickoff, June 21st. I know, weird, right? Apparently, it was part of a Fanatics Fest in New York. Michael Cole with Pete Robertsburg. Pete got the wrong year for his favourite SummerSlam match, wanker. Randy
I mean, I
Orton
was so
and
confused by that.
yeah, do you know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? I mean, Jaxie, we've spoken about pointless kickoff shows, and lo and behold, we have one to start the show, you know?
I was honestly baffled. I seriously, like, who does a kickoff show months before the show happens? It's not a kickoff show. Like, yeah, majorly confused. I literally thought that we either time jumped or I slept for months and I was off like calendar. It's just weird.
You woke up and just missed Night of Champions. You just got a message from me going, "Where you
Yep.
been last month?" Um, but it's all about SummerSlam. Randy Orton, he beats the Undertaker's record for most SummerSlam appearances with 17. I mean, wow, make me feel old, why don't you? John Cena was there. I wonder if it counts for one of his appearances, but he said nothing new. But he does love Cole. Nikki Bella was next. I mean, that could have been awkward, couldn't it? But she talked about Evolution. Ray Ripley. Um, Cole reminded her of last year at SummerSlam. That's not nice. Tiffy was next, talked about how bad her pitch was, and if you know, you know. And then Jey Uso with Seth Rollins interrupted with Braun, and he wishes Jay luck. Becky Lynch was next. I mean, she looked well. Last time she was at MetLife, she became Becky two belts. And lastly, CM Punk in a suit. And we've got baby CM Punk. Oh, no, wait. It's not finished. It's Triple H here just to spit water and leave. And like you said, what a waste of an hour. As we spoke about pointless kickoffs, but I suppose they had to do it. And then we've got the Raw Go Home. Seth Rollins, Paul Heyman, Von Breakker, and Bronson Reed open the show. Originally claimed he was responsible for Roman Reigns, and that CM Punk was only back because he wanted to milk Rollins' hate for him. And that Cody Rhodes would not been back if it wasn't for him. He said they're champions like Cena and Gunther who believe at the top of their business, but ultimately Rollins is the end game. Breakker defeated Penta with an awesome spear. Penta looked to have picked up an injury, and Gable and Penta had a brief fall backstage on Monday that culminated with Penta using the sacrifice armbar to injure Gable's shoulder. Gable is definitely having surgery. KO is waiting for his neck fusion surgery, and apparently Dom has bad ribs as well, so he can't defend against AJ. I mean, Monty, on top of this, including the Liv Morgan injury, they've not been on a great run recently when it comes to the injury report.
Yeah, I think that kind of it also kind of showcases just how talented the roster is too, because I still feel like we still have a nice dose of talent or people who have potential to step into those places. But yeah, they run into they definitely run into like a little wall here when it comes to just the different amounts of injuries to the point to where uh, I mean, because of like the political unrest and all that, people was like, all right, is Dom stuff legit or he just don't want to go to Saudi Arabia? It's just like you got there's a lot of questions. Not saying he isn't injured. I'm just saying we just have so much going on, and just every other week at this point you hear about someone doing this. But if it's one thing about this business, we know that's reason why you load up on as much talent as you can, and you try to have a multiple stars in position to fill those slots because in the run of a year and the fact that this thing just keeps going, they don't take a break like other athletic ventures, and stuff like that. So injuries are going to happen. So it's one of those unfortunate things that we all kind of know. But yeah, it's really crazy when you think about, like you say, how many people who were fixtures on television over the last year and how they run injury. But and it's interesting too when I think about Chad Gable. I mean, on our last show, we were just talking about how amazing he was on the Worlds Collide show, and then did Money in the Bank, and then here we are a few weeks later, and he's gonna be out a while. So that's the thing when you're double booking. It's like you take that chance. So yeah, it's very interesting when you really think about it. How fast you can go from being loaded to like, wow, we're missing some people.
Yeah, and I'm not laughing at Gable injury, but again, as spoke about, yeah, you had a 5-star matchup that went nearly half hour. Then you're in the Money in the Bank match. You shouldn't be surprised that you are picking up injuries, especially with the roster kind of like being packed at the moment in time. In a pre-tape interview, Michael Cole Goldberg discussed the disrespect world champion Gunther showed him at Bad Blood last October. Yeah, because we all remember that. He said he's going to beat the fuck out of him. Ooh. A fired up Gunther hit the ring to respond to Goldberg's words from earlier in the night and did not mince his words. He criticised the veteran for being a one-trick pony, a wrestler who cannot hang with the best in the world today, and vowed to fucking smash him at Saturday Night's main event. I mean, Gina, did this do anything for you? Goldberg and Gunther?
No.
That's a shame, isn't it?
I honestly would comment more, but I really just don't have the commentary. It's not that I don't like Gunther. I really do like him. I just don't care for Goldberg, and that's me being truly honest. I used to be a big fan of his back in the day, and it's not that I'm not a fan, but I don't care for this return. That's just how I feel.
But it's his last match. Surely you got to give him that.
I thought we had his last match before. He's given countless interviews to say his body's not the same, etc. So in a way, like, is this going to turn into a bit of a mess and a shoddy last match? And you should have just left it out what your previous one was, you know? Not only that as well, but obviously it's just kind of like come out of nowhere. And I think I'm still feeling a bit bitter about, Jay losing the belt. And in my eyes, we didn't need the belt in this situation. Gunther and Goldberg could have had beef without the belt being involved. Because Gunther had called Goldberg out a couple of months ago or something, wasn't it? Right. When he was sat in the crowd with his son. So they could have just continued that beef and the belt didn't need to be involved. So I think I'm still bitter at Jay just losing it like that and not having a proper run or storyline to himself with that belt. I just think, like, did you just put it on Gunther so that they could then have this title match with Goldberg? Again, in my eyes, they don't need the title involved. But yeah, I just don't really care.
Well, you said a lot for something you don't care about. So like I
True,
said,
true.
fair enough. Queen of the Ring semi-final, Jade Cargill beat Roxanne Perez. I mean, not bad for Rox. She might be a tag team champion soon as well. Not that Raquel cares. She laid out Ripley. She didn't sound it, but she looked convincing. I mean, Jaxie, what are your thoughts on Jade, Rox, Raquel, and Ripley at this moment in time?
I mean, like, I think especially with the Liv injury, the angle, like, leaning towards Rox and Raquel to kind of covering the tag titles. We've seen this happen before, Jade going out with injury and then Naomi picking up the belt alongside Bianca, and this is kind of something similar to what they're reflecting here with Roxanne. I like the sort of storyline that's kind of building up around this, considering all these things took place to Rhea, and Liv kind of just capitalized off of Rhea's downhill moments, and so you can kind of see Roxanne doing the same, but to Liv now. So there is, like, good storyline here. I think going into this match, did I really believe though that Roxanne really had a chance against Jade with the way that they've been pushing Jade and the storyline that Jade's got currently with Naomi? Yeah, I didn't really see much getting involved, and I kind of liked that they built enough storyline of, Raquel's gotten involved in Rhea's match and cost her. Rhea's gotten involved in Raquel's match and cost her. And Rhea came out, like, not really for the save for Jade, but came out to actually screw with Raquel again, in trying to sway, that the match between Jade and Roxanne into Roxanne's favor. It's all been tying in well, but, like, this is all happening due to matter of circumstance, that they're being able to capitalize off this, so I'm just glad that it feels like the right women are getting pushed at the moment, or at least getting a spotlight that they might not necessarily have gotten before.
Yeah, without a doubt. Sami Zayn informed Karen Cross of their impending match, made official by Adam Pearce. Self-proclaimed devil you know laughed in approval and got him, he told Scarlett. He doesn't take back bunks, apparently. But, again, we'll leave it because going Night of Champions, he took fucking loads. Women's Intercontinental Championship, Bayley versus Becky Lynch, as Bayley scaled the ropes for a top rope elbow job. Lyra attacked Lynch, drawing the DQ, and enhancing the issues that exist between her and the role model. Lynch celebrated a successful match while watching her two great sets bicker in the middle of the ring. I mean, Monty, we did wonder with Lyra, but this just seemed a bit too predictable, you know what I mean? But I don't mind it, as long as we can get something from Bayley in this.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it went the way you kind of expected it to go. Although I do think, by the way, I mean, like I said, Becky and Baylor, even though I know we look at them as part of the Four Horsewomen, they don't really, they like I said, they haven't really fought a whole lot. But just in this one-on-one encounter that they had, I thought they both kind of showcased like how good that match really could be. So it kind of left me a little bit annoyed at Lyra for even showing up. So I kind of like I was on Bailey's side from that retrospect, but at the same time, I'm not stupid. I'm not. I understand that it's personal for Lyra, and I think we already kind of know where this is headed. And I'm not mad at it. I think they all three can tell a really good story around the belt. And to me, it just kind of begs the question to me. And I don't know about you, John. I don't know if you thought about this, but it's just like so much effort seems to be going now, and maybe it's because Becky wants to or Bailey wants to, but they seem to be trying to build or it feels like the energy around building the Intercontinental Championship as something to chase and as something to want. it's been awesome to see, and it's just making me wonder, like, why is that? Why it takes so long to get us here? Two, why can't we get that consistency with the tag belt and the
Mm-hmm.
U.S. belt?
Mm-hmm.
And then like three, the unfortunate thing is, as great as this feud has been over the Intercontinental Championship, and it's great to see that people that the women are actually, or we got prominent names like Becky Lynch, like Bayley, and then of course Lyra battling for it. So it adds prestige to the belt, but it also makes me like sad because I think that's part of the reason why Io Sky basically haven't even had a match. I don't think
Mm.
since like WrestleMania, it feels like, or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like they can only do this with one women's title almost at a time. It feels like on a show.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's just my outlook at it because
No,
this is
just
getting great focus, but
just want
EO
to
is not
add
even
to
on
that.
TV anymore.
Just want to add to that, Monty. I too was just kind of feeling like if you look at what both Tiffany and Io have achieved right now since WrestleMania, it's not really that much. It's not really much has not been about them.
Right,
It's been about the title, but not them. You know,
right,
um, like they've all been focused on Queen of the Ring, so talking about the belt, but not about the person behind the belt. When it comes to the build up of this, is a lot of this is overshadowed with this build up of Naomi is obviously going to be coming for one of those belts as Money in the Bank winner.
yeah,
Um, like so there's just been so many other women and other factors involved that it's almost like creative forgot to actually like continue to book their women's champions doing promos themselves and talking about all the other bits that are going on it within the women's division. We're seeing a
yeah,
lot of like CM Punk, Cody, and John Cena opening the shows. We've even maybe seen even Rhea come out.
right,
But when was the last time Io or Tiffany opened a show? You know?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's true.
and that's what I'm saying. It's like it's weird because like like Tiffany is gonna be Nia Jackson thing once. So like they incorporate Tiffany a little bit since Charlotte, but really, and when it comes to EO we can't even get a regular just one-on-one match. And like you said, you mentioned injury, James, and stuff like that, but it's like we can't even get her in like a regular tag or something, like anything just to see the champion, other than like you said, coming out and holding up the belt or whatever. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's just been very weird, but it is nice to go back to the Intercontinental Championship. It is nice to see them build a little division or a little bit, like I said, build some prestige for that championship because you have people like Becky and Bayley now battling along with Lyra to again like really establish that championship. So it's really cool. But like I said, it'd be nice to get some consistency around the other divisions in the women's division also.
Yeah, without a doubt. And in the main event, the two most popular stars in WWE today squared off with spotting the King of the Ring final on the line. I think living up to the moment and delivering a PLE worthy match for the dramatic near falls and false finishes. Cody overcame a barrage of super kicks and spears to catch Uso with Super Cody cut from top before finishing off the World Heavyweight Champion with a crossroads. I mean, Gina, what did you think of this? Because I think this was everything you could have wanted from this matchup.
Yeah, definitely. It was such a good match. Both of them gave it their all. And they're such both of them are such popular characters at the moment that you could just hear the crowd just cheering for them both. It was hard for them to kind of like have a solid like winner in their eyes because they love them both. So yeah, it was good. I think they both put a lot on the line trying to prove that why they should be in the King of the Ring final. Um, yeah, I enjoyed the match. I thought it was good and
Yeah.
it was a nice bout of respect too.
Yeah, exactly. And you can tell they actually like each other, even with the way they kind of interacted and stuff like that towards the end. So it was going to make the hill turn even worse, I suppose. I'll move on to June 27th kickoff. Michael Cole hosting. I'm not making any jokes about the Saudi presenter, all right? I've learnt my lesson. Fatu was first out, short and sweet. Sammy was next, greeted like a hero. Karrion Cross, he was here. And I was trying to work out, I think his last PLE singles match might be versus Drew McIntyre when he first returned, and that was just after the first clash. I know he's at WrestleMania in 6-man action, but I can't. You know what I mean? I
It
think
was
that
at
might
Crown.
be.
It was in Saudi too, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
So. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. It was, yeah. When he first came back.
Yeah, and what he calls Sammy the father of all liars. Raquel next, who got booed. Rhea looked fine and got a huge pop.
Yeah.
Fans booed CM Punk and cheered John Cena. This might have something to do with CM Punk tweeting The Miz in 2020 saying, "Go suck a blood money covered dick in Saudi Arabia, you fucking dork." Maybe or maybe not, but a fan wanted him to apologize. And Punk's response live was, "I'm not perfect by any means. Sometimes, as human beings, we screw up. The beautiful thing is everything is a lesson learned, and here I am. And you invited me to your country, and I'm grateful to be here. Thank
Exactly
you
what you
very
supposed to say.
much." And how weird is this? Now the Miz is not even booked. I'm not saying it's conspiracy theory, but do you know what I'm saying? CM Punk is a monster, and it's funny people are just finding out. You know, that's why they sang "Old Drew McIntyre." I mean, Jaxie. I don't know if you saw the kickoff and the awkward interaction, but again, we know CM Punk is a hypocrite. Why are people surprised? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, this is
I know.
crazy.
I mean, I saw parts of it, and I did see this part. But I just, again, like you just said, I kind of was like chuckled to myself a little bit into being like, why are you not surprised? Like, wrestlers do a lot, and they do spout a lot of shit themselves on Twitter and things like that, and it will come back to bite them in the ass. And this is exactly what it did to Punk. Punk just came in and then went, "Look, thanks for inviting me to your country, guys. Yeah, sorry about what I said back then. Um, and yeah, it's all good and well again. Like
With
it's
that country's history, what else he's supposed to say?
yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
what? No, exactly. Like you didn't expect any different. Like what did you expect him to do? Like come in and be like, yeah, fuck your
Screw
country.
your
Like he's not
government.
gonna
Yeah.
exactly do that, is
Fuck you
he?
guys.
Right.
Like this was expected. Like especially with him turning up. Like if I was Punk, I would not be going to that event without thinking to myself, I'm gonna need to actually say sorry.
Right.
Like it was inevitable that apology was going to come at some point. It just took Punk returning to WWE to then be shoved in a pay-per-view match like this. Like he's like, oh shit, yeah,
Yeah.
I got to apologize about that.
And
So
again,
it is what it is.
where people were saying, "Oh, I hope the payday's worth it." He's not going to get paid any extra. That doesn't
Right.
work like that anymore in WWE.
Mm,
You get you get
yeah,
paid
yeah.
separate. So he's
I
doing
mean,
his,
to be honest,
you know,
he wanted to be paid, which is why he went. So
yeah.
Literally what he
that should
said
tell
when
you
he
enough.
showed up. Right. Came here to make
It should tell you
money.
enough.
Oh God. Right. Anyway, on to SmackDown in Riyadh. Michael Cole on commentary with Wade. Cody started the show. Randy interrupted, saying, "With everything being said, the reason I'm out here is," and then nothing for nearly half hour. Apparently, WWE said broadcast issue from Saudi. A camel munched on the cam cable. They are fixing it. What's really funny is I was reading the old Power Slam and they were talking about Beware a Dog when the power went out. And then this happened. I was like, am I a jinx? I mean, Monty, what actually happened in the US? Because us international fans were just like gone for, like I said, nearly 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
it was weird because they edited out like, and then but they also showed us like clips of what Randy and Cody was saying during like the big 30, because they had the field time. So they were just out there talking apparently to the live crowd. So I saw but like on the actual broadcast, it just kind of skipped out. Like we didn't even notice on the SmackDown if you watched it live television. Only reason why I knew is because because of the internet, and a lot of the people over here use VPNs when they're
Mm.
out of the country and stuff like that to watch it on Netflix. But yeah, no. So for us, we didn't even really notice it. But later on, they showed clips of some of the stuff that Cody and Randy said during the Hulk, because again, they had to go out there and really try to fill 30 minutes of dead air time, basically.
Oh, my
So,
word.
yeah,
Right.
I can only imagine how what we didn't all get to hear and see, because when you got 30 minutes to fill, you just out there winging it. But yeah, man, that was very interesting. Only in Saudi, only in these remote type deals where you get stuff like that. Because a camel biting the cable, like that, don't that sound a little bit too good That's a little too good to be true. But yeah, that's what they said happened.
Okay, now, and again, when we came back, we couldn't hear Solo properly, and then when we actually properly returned, we go to an advert. Have they no shame? Do you know what I mean? Have they no shame whatsoever? JC Mateo beat Jimmy Uso. Sikoa once again tried to convince Jimmy to come back, was met with a slap. Mateo attacked him from behind, but Jacob Fatu ended up making the save. Michael Cole mentioned Taz, which kind of should be the norm in wrestling. But it was so nice to hear it. I'm sure it was like on an ad break or something like this. But again, it's nice. And the first of three title matches saw Zelina Vega defend the women's title at the United States Championship, against Julia. Vega began to be some momentum after hitting a running knee, but she hit a knee on the stairs. Julia hit a Northern Lights bomb for the pin to become the new United States champion. And Gina, I mean, Julia's a weird one, isn't she? Because it's not like a class for the safe category like Stephanie Vaquer, but she's won championship really quick now on the main roster.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm happy for her. But again, is it because they're like, oh crap, we've called her up and we didn't really know what to do with her? Or is it they did have a set plan for her to be the one to take it from Selena, you know? It would have been nicer if they had built a bit more of a story between the two. But I'm still happy for her regardless. I think Julia is such an enigmatic person, if that's the right word to use. Like she's quite mysterious. I quite like her, and I want to see more of her. So yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I don't know why Chelsea Green's still got the secret Hervis if she's not going to go after the US title. But again, that's my problem and not anybody else's. Luckily for us, SmackDown will be 2 hours starting next week. And then Jay Cargill and Oscar both came out for an in-ring segment with Wade Barrett, head of the Queen of the Ring. And Wade Barrett, like Asuka, is the same as William Regal with like Umaga, wasn't it, really, back in the day, or the way he said it. That's what I feel. Anyway, Barrett asked why Cargill was confident she will win, and she said it's because she isn't afraid of Oscar and sees her as an opportunity. After Oscar responded, Naomi came with a money back briefcase, take some trash. Jay went after her. She knocked down Oscar and it led to the Empress taking her out with a few kicks. Nice segment. We got Andrade and Phoenix defeating DIY. Ron Killings came to the ring to call out Cena for another fight, but he ended up taking a black mass from Aleister Black. Truth interrupted backstage 2 weeks ago, and 2 weeks in a row, sorry, I should say. Black said that before walking away, this will also lead to a match soon. Priest wasn't happy, but Jaxie, what confused me here was like, so I guess the John Cena R-Truth thing is done, and we're just moving on to this kind of feud with Aleister Black, even if it is that, because we've not really seen much.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, like the timeline of events just really confused me because it seemed to me like our truth was not done with John Cena, but then it felt like, well, Aleister Black's like, well, you're my problem now. And I just feel like things got convoluted. And I think it's because they just tried to rush sort of this feud with our truth, you know? They tried to bash it out so quickly and then it just didn't really feel like it was fully over. But now that it feels like they're trying to overwrite that with this uh Aleister Black feud now. Sorry, I have to keep thinking because I go straight away to call him Malachi Black. Um, but yeah, I guess like I'm just a little bit confused in terms of the timeline of events and stuff, and feel like right now Truth needs to focus more on Aleister Black than he does John Cena because it seems like John Cena's not really thinking much about him.
Yeah, Cena has moved on. We got the Street Profits versus the White Six for the tag titles. The match ended up being called off due to involvement of everyone at ringside. And then we got Tiffany Stratton versus Nia Jax for the women's title. Last women standing. Both women was counted out after a powerbomb through the table. And Naomi showed up looking to cash in. Stratton took her down with a briefcase and hit a moonsault to her and Jax at the same time. Tiffany put Jax through 2 tables at ringside to get the win and retain her title. I mean, Monty, what were your thoughts on these title matches? Tag match was a little bit of a, you know what I mean, how it happened, but I quite enjoyed Jackson Tiffany.
Yeah, I mean, to me, when I look at the tag match, I mean, it was cool to see the Y6 in this, like, kind of just be in our tag division. And I guess when you think about what the Y6 represent, the fact that since they kind of came there, the SmackDown tag division has just been even more chaotic. But I think if you look at where we are with SmackDown tag division, we got really good tag teams and I just think I be like, I look at it and I'm just like, why the hell the Street Profits or why the hell Motor City Machine Guns, you know, DIY? Why can't we get consistent tag team defenses actually on some of these PLEs. When you just think about the talent that we have in that division. They do a pretty good job of trying to showcase it on SmackDown, but maybe that's my little pet peeve with the fact that Triple H seems to hate the tag team titles when it comes to pay per views. He just only wants it on the weekly shows, and whatever. So be it, I guess. But the main event itself, I mean, Tiffany and Nia, they have really good chemistry. I mean, if it's one thing about it, they seem to perform really well together, and they've drilled this match into our head. I don't think I ever want to see them touch again. Like, I can't wait till the draft or whatever so they can separate. I don't think we need to see this ever again. I think we get it. You know, they had some really entertaining spots. I thought the match itself was entertaining. Naya's been pretty good in this position of just kind of like not necessarily just bullying, but just in this role that she's been in of just being who she is. And I think Tiffany Stratton is a pretty good foil. The run in, I didn't mind it, but it's just I say this all the time so far with Triple H in his era of booking Money in the Bank. We don't see this with Seth. I know Seth is going to do it, but like I don't feel like Seth looks as and maybe that's because he's the architect, but he don't look like he comes out without a plan as much as Naomi. Like Naomi is pretty much did the same thing every week, and that just sounds to me like you guys don't really know what to do, but we got to get this Naomi appearance because she's one of our best characters. So let's just throw her out here, and so that's one thing I didn't really need. I don't think she needs to do it every opportunity that it looks like she can do it. And maybe that plays into her being a little bit off her rocker these days, but still doing the same thing every week, I don't know. I'm not really, but maybe you could just say she's insane. That's the definition of insanity. So I guess that's what it is with her. But yeah, man, other than that, I thought it was a good match. Again, they have really good chemistry. But again, it's just one of those situations where we kind of were talking earlier about it. When it comes to Tiffany Stratton, her beating Nia Jax, what does that really do for her as a women's champion? And as far as this reign, I mean, she did it to cash in. They had the little feud before Charlotte. Then she got Charlotte. And then now basically you return back into this thing. You kind of flirt with the Jade idea and look like we'll be returning into that too. So I don't know. I just kind of hate the fact that it feels like Tiffany this whole time has only had, 3 or 4 people in her entire run to really just work with. So I don't know. But other than that, her and Nia don't need to do this again, but it was a really good match.
Well, again, let's remember how many failed, cash-in attempts Tiffany Stratton had during her time. She was always down to the ring weekly, wasn't she?
Exactly. But that's my point. You know what I mean? Like, we see them running into the
yeah.
ground with Tiffany, and we see them running to the ground now, and it's just like, and I'm looking at the way he's presenting Self. Self is doing it. He's telling you that I got it and reminding you that it's there, but it don't seem like it's a failed attempt every week when it comes to Self. He's just letting you know that it's gonna happen. So that's all. That's just all. He's like, you don't have to drill it into our head every chance you get that the women is gonna cash in one day.
But the interesting thing about Tiffany Stratton as well, I don't know if it is a record or not, but because she cashed in for the championship, it might be the longest reigning cashing, if you know what I'm trying to say. Like usually they lose their title pretty soon, or do you know what I mean? It's just a kind of a switch. And this one, she has been champion for quite a long time. It'd be quite weird if Money Bank is cashed in on the person that cashed in Money in the Bank on that championship. Anyway, the week SmackDown ended with the final ring segment between John Cena and CM Punk for the meet at Night of Champions. CM Punk decided to come out dressed like Doctor of Thugonomics Cena from back in the day. And not only did he dress the part, but Punk even brought his own rap lyrics. Unfortunately, he didn't come close to match the level of sting with his words that Cena used during his pipe bomb. Punk did trip over some of his lines. There are more than 1 or 2 questionable ones. I mean, Gina, what do you think of this Punk cosplay? Basic Punkonomics.
I didn't really have any thoughts on it. I thought it was a little funny, and then I moved on.
I didn't think it was funny. I thought it was bad because it's bad when the commentators are fake laughing. When you hear Michael Cole fake laughing at something, it's shit. Do you know what I mean?
You're like, why? I was awkward laughing. I was awkward laughing. Like that was a whole major awkward fest for me.
Oh
I did
Yeah,
God.
probably worse than the War Raiders cosplay at WrestleMania.
It was pretty bad. Punk life.
It's a humiliation ritual. That's all.
Yeah.
I think he's friends with John, and like the company is like, let's humiliate him, for a little bit, so he can really prove he's a company guy. I don't know. I don't
Oh
think it's
God.
as bad as you making it sound, James, because you also told me that the John Cena stuff before that was so awesome, and I'm just like, see, it's just like, yeah, it's like they both did a lesser version of the original. So Punk's was worse though. Don't get me wrong, Punk's was worse. But that's all. It wasn't. I mean, it wasn't offensive. It was just,
I found it
you know,
offensive. I found it offensive.
it wasn't
Anyway,
offensive.
we'll
I
move on to
found it
count.
awkward. It was just awkward.
It was horrible.
Yeah,
A
I mean,
countdown to Night of Champions. It was 2 hours long, and Michael Cole is earning his money. He's back again with Wade and Jackie Redmond, and Natalie Momo. I want to pronounce that right. With Barrow and Saxton. They had old King of the Ring clips. They tried to sport wash us as well. We've got the Baratology. Jay Cargill was interviewed. She said she's focused. Rhea was interviewed. She says her and Raquel have a lot of history, which they do. Cross was interviewed. He wants to prove Sammy is a liar. Saxton was in the ring. And then finally, Night of Champions. There we go. That is 2 hours covered there. June 28th for the Night of Champions. And after a standard opening and really long entrances, we start with Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes in the King of the Ring final. A grueling match saw both men frustrated with the inability to keep the other down with even their most devastating finishers. But as the frustration built, Orton reverted to the vibe of old, teasing a trademark punt, but thinking better of it. Later, he teased using a steel chair, but simply utilised it as a distraction, drawing the referee's attention away from exposing the steel turnbuckle. Rose shoved Orton into the exposed turnbuckle, hit the crossroads for the victory. Jaxie, start us off. What were your thoughts on this?
Yeah, this was a good match. This was a match that you could just tell that these are two sort of wrestlers that are well used to each other and working with each other in the ring. I think that this was definitely a very clever way to start this type of pay-per-view. These are two clear fan favorites. They took their time coming out, with their entrances, let the crowd really soak up and sing their music, and you could tell they were all so dedicated into singing all of that. It was a good match, but it's just like, again, it feels like I've seen this match before, if that makes sense. So it was a good match, but it was just like a match that I feel like I've seen before. Like, it felt like a finals, but then it didn't feel like a finals. Like, in terms of like, I don't really feel like the stakes were high. In terms of who would have been the winner, who would have been the outcome for it. I don't know. I just feel like there could have been a more interesting final match setup for King of the Ring, but then that's my own personal opinion, I think. So again, I'm not disputing the match. I thought it was good. The guys both did really well. They were decent at what they needed to do, and they did their job, But for me, I just felt like it could have been much more exciting if we had different opponents in the finale for King of the Ring. But that's my opinion,
Yeah, no, I mean, I think if it's Cody and Jay, like you said, I think that might have been a little bit better. But again, with Orton, he did lose last year, so maybe that's they're trying to build a story and being a
Yeah,
loser.
I don't know. I feel like for some reason, like especially when it comes to Hunter, it feels like, just Hunter just wants Orton there in every sort of like potential picture if possible. But like Orton's not necessarily needed in those stories, if that makes sense. That could have been like someone else. And I'm not saying that's bad about Orton, but I'm also just like wondering when like a lot of these new younger wrestlers are actually really going to be given a chance, when the chances are constantly being given back to the veterans. So I just felt like Orton didn't necessarily need to be in that final match. I felt like it could have gone to like sort of a newer, younger, fresher face to actually start like pushing the right talent. But again, my opinion, and I'm rambling.
That's fine. I mean, Monty, again, I mean, Jackson makes great points about the younger talents, but again, the story here is more obviously with Cody getting the victory. I mean, did he go to his dark side? And also with Orton as well, eventually going to the dark side.
Yeah, that was the best part. I think it was the match within the match that made this match special. I thought it was a really good match. Like if you're just looking at it, I get what Jackson's saying. If you're just looking at it from the perspective of, oh, this is Randy Orton versus Cody, and we talking about a WWE title shot. Which one of these people are more likely to fight Cena again? Then yeah, I understand. But if you look at what they tried to do in this match, the reason why I thought the match really, like you said, really got good, Johnny, is because, like you said, it happened as soon as Randy tweaked his back, and we gotta remember the story about why Cody is beltless now. He's only like everybody remembers the horrible Travis Scott showing up. Please don't show up ever again. But he's probably gonna show up again, by the way.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. But the reason why he lost that match is because he had a great opportunity to screw Cena before Cena screwed him, and he chose the good route. He chose the babyface route and lost like a good babyface idiot. And this time, like you saw with Randy, maybe the story is that Cody wouldn't have went so hard on Randy's surgically repaired back if that didn't happen to him. You know what I mean? And I think that's the type of psychological story they was trying to tell. And you're right. Randy always toes that line, even as like pretty much. I know he's supposed to be a babyface, but if we really think about Randy and who he is, nothing really has changed about his presentation, other than instead of punting a lot of people, he throws more RKO's as a face. Other than that, Randy is pretty much the same guy. He always toes that line, and he has no problem. He is the one who took the turnbuckle off that played a factor in that finish. But in the past, would Cody have pushed him into that turnbuckle to set up Crossroads? Who knows? Like that is the mind. That is the psychological story that they were attempting to tell here, because it's all about how low are you willing to go, especially when you think about. And then now you start to think about it. Is Cody truly when he says Randy is a mentor and all that, do you truly believe Randy is somebody you respect and is your mentor, or is that politician? Is that you softening Randy up so he wouldn't punch you? Like there's a lot of theories that goes into this match that I thought made the match really great. Besides the stuff that they were doing, and then also let's be real. If you heard Saudi Arabia, they didn't want Cody to win that match. Like if you listen to Saudi, they were not cheering for Cody. Cody even acknowledged that in his speech after the match when he said, "I know when I'm going against these characters like Jey Uso and all that." That is Cody acknowledging that when he fights other popular talent, a lot of times they don't choose him. So it's like, is that going to play a factor in a character change if we're going to get one? Honestly, I feel like we all know that theologically, to me, that whatever happens between him and Cena, if it is Cena based on this card, but if it was to be Cena again, he's going to have to go to a dark place and possibly do something that. And we hear these crowds for Cena. The people might not like it if he did kick Cena to win his belt back. You know what I mean? Even if it makes logical sense. So that's the type of stuff of where Cody is right now in his current character form. It's about
Monty,
that.
the way you're describing both Randy and Cody going into the match that we're discussing and like the match that is to come against John Cena inevitably, you just described both Randy and Cody as having like aspects of like Anakin Skywalker in them, just
Yeah,
toying with that constant line of like, where is
it
the
is.
justice and where do I take that justice? When is it like my turn to like take that justice? Like now all I can see is both of them sort of having certain traits that really could lend themselves to Anakin.
Right. And I think if WWE is smart, they use Randy. They use that relationship to
Mm,
play that factor to see what side of Cody can we really get. Can Cody
yeah,
continue to fight it? Same thing with Randy. Is Randy gonna turn on Cody first? Or is Cody
yeah.
gonna turn for whose
Or is Randy
character is
going to
gonna be
become the
pushed?
Palpatine?
Right, exactly. Like how
So,
it's so if they're smart, they really can use that to tell a beautiful story with Randy, and you can
mm,
use Cena too to tell it because I think as
yeah,
much as he's been a bad guy, these fans do not want Cena to still be a bad guy. So I can
Yeah.
see Cena ending up being sympathetic in this, no matter how bad he was. You can do some expert stuff if they're smart and if they tell the story the right way. But anyway, I
Mm.
thought that was the best part of the match. It wasn't so much as the wrestling as much as the
The
story
storytelling.
of
Yeah.
the story of
Yeah.
Cody's progress and like is he willing to do whatever it takes to be on top? And that's really that's the next story for Cody. Is he willing to do whatever he has to do to overcome Cena, overcome all of this? Because that's the only way he's gonna truly be what again, unstoppable. Because if Cody toes that line, he's already barely loses now. But if Cody is willing to do whatever it takes, who really gonna stop him? To be honest, so yeah, man, that was the beautiful part of the match for me, John.
Yeah, without doubt. And again, I mean, you guys mentioned it a lot, but Gina, this is what it did feel like Master versus Apprentice, even with the history with kind of legacy there. And I will say this: what the crowd was a lot louder than it. I mean, when we started the Saudi Arabian events, with what the crowd was like, it was fucking awful. But this actually felt like quite a hot crowd, which enhanced the night's action as well as the opening match.
Yeah, definitely. You could tell the Saudi crowd really loved Randy, and anything he did, he just got a rouse out of them. So they just kept the volume high and kept the spirits high for the start of the show. So
Yeah. Anyway, right. So scores in for the opening matchup. Jackson, what would you give it?
You know what? I was going to give it a 3 3/4 because of my thoughts and views, but after the discussion with Monte, I'm actually intrigued to see where things are going to lead to after this match, from both of their points of view. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this a 4.
Give it
Yeah,
a
4
four.
is fine. 4.
Monty.
I gave it 4 1/4. I thought it was a really good opening.
4 1/4. And Gina.
yeah, I'll give it a 4 1/4 too.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4.5. And can I just say as well, apart from John Cena and Roman Reigns, the only person to have beaten Cody Rhodes in single action since Cody returned is Drew McIntyre. Thank you very
Yeah.
much. Wild. Predictions, WNR Prediction League 2025 after Worlds Collide, which we all won. So we all got the point on Worlds Collide. See, we are all masters in AAA. Fucking easy. So the bonus league right now is Gina's on 10, Jaxie's 13, I'm on 14, Monty on 15. AEW, Jaxie and I are yet to score this year. I can't fucking believe it. Gina's on 1, Monty on 3. And the WWE League, I'm on 2.
AEW.
Gina's on 4, Monty Jackson on 5. It's fucking awful. We all went for Cody, so we're all on 1. And we got Louis Huddy, Boulevard Street Fight. You know that famous matchup. Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez. And they got strong chemistry with each other. And it was on display here. They delivered a half-full, hard-hitting match. Each saw endure considerable pain and punishment, including shots with kendo sticks and Ripley getting hit with a studded belt. Oh, and she whipped Rodriguez as well. That was a great moment. Roxanne Perez interfered, but again, didn't help anybody with it. Ray Ripley easily put out the prodigy and then finished off Rodriguez with a table-assisted riptide from the top rope to get the win. Monty, what were your thoughts on this?
Yeah, it's like you mentioned, they have really good chemistry, Raquel and Rhea. I don't know if it got anything on like was it that last woman standing in NXT?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
match they had, bro. Still remember that. Now that was oh my goodness. Hey, I don't know. Those were good times right there. You know, back in her with Gonzalez days. But but yeah, this is really good. This is really good. Sometimes you forget. I don't forget, but I think the way she's been presented in the off and on, she did spend time away. But Raquel don't necessarily get enough credit. Like I know people talk about the athlete and as they should because of what Rhea is, and I get it. But Raquel is back in the PC days, she was stronger than Rhea Ripley, and
Mm-hmm.
and even with Bianca, Bianca and Rhea Ripley used to tear all types of performance center records. So it's cool to see Raquel get the spotlight. Maybe without Liv, that's kind of what she'll be able to do, get more of a chance to be in some of these positions, and get more of an opportunity to showcase. But again, like we said, her and Rhea just they have really good chemistry. They match up really well. And I just thought this was really well done. I mean, both ladies, honestly, they just kept kind of raising the bar basically until we got to the finish, which again the referee was kind of helping them because the table wasn't stable, but it is what it is. You gotta do what you gotta do because that's an insane way to
Yeah.
kind of cap off that match. But it was good. It was really good, and I'm happy for Raquel mostly because I think we all know Rhea gets the spotlight all the time, so it's really cool that Raquel can get some love and actually have a really positive showing in a spot. It would have been nice if she could have found a way to win, but honestly, this is just real, man. I can't bet against it. So 4.25 to me will probably be where I leave it, or like round four. Yeah, 4.25 is fair. They really killed it. I really thought they kept the energy of the first match going too. I just thought it really the way this show started. I was like, okay, yeah, this can be one of them ones, a really good show. So, and I thought the ladies did a really good job of keeping that energy going.
Yeah, without doubt. And the finish looked great, we should say. And again, I think Wade Barrett did mention it on commentary that Rodriguez's victory over Ripley in that last women's standard match in NXT,
Yeah,
and then noted since then on the main
she ain't
roster
won nothing.
she's not won one match between, which shows you it's difficult on the main roster. But again,
It's
Raquel
tough.
was a monster in NXT. I can't, exactly, you can't really say that. Gina, I mean, what were your thoughts on the matchup? I mean, the thing is, they basically had the same outfit on, but I guess there wasn't a lot of choices. Do you know what I mean? But I mean, for me, it just enhances something. Shall we say?
Yeah, maybe that's their plan and why they prefer their women to dress like that, so that
Yeah,
it
that's been my
enhances certain
argument against
features for them. No, but I agree with what Monty said. I think it was a great match, and I thought it was a really good showcase for Raquel to be in her own storyline, not just here to represent Liv or anything, and the storyline not being involved about Liv. So it was just nice for Raquel to get her own shine. I'm a little bit disappointed because I thought that she might get the win here with the help of Roxanne. So when Roxanne did come running out, I was jumping for joy, and then I was angry again because I'm like, how did your involvement not help her in any way get the win here? But regardless, aside from that, I still enjoyed the match. I just wish that the crowd was a little bit more hype for the female matches. I know that they're not because of where they're located, but
Mm.
it's just sad because sometimes like the women are putting on banger matches, and I just don't feel like they're getting the hype in the crowd that's worth deserving of their match that they're putting on for them. So that was probably the most disappointing part for me.
Yeah, well, and Jaxie, again, we touched on this subject earlier. We talk about the women's title because I'm sure EO versus Ripley will be have the match at Evolution,
Mm.
but barring Mania, that would be the first time a women's title would be defended on a PLE since Bad Blood last year. And this Bad Blood pay per view now has taken on fucking hell of a not only with Goldberg shit going on, but the Rock slit throat. And the last time women's title was defended on a PLE outside of Mania. But again,
Like
it's just not good enough, is it?
it's really not. It's almost kind of like the creative lately seem to put a lot of emphasis on, getting winning the belt, becoming champion. And then it's almost like the champion lately is the one going sort of like to catering and allowing all of this time to build up other formidable um potential opponents. But that's not how this should work, you know? Um I don't know what it has gone wrong with the writing, but creatives seem to be falling off the plot when it comes to what to do with their champions once they're champion. It felt
Mhm.
like that was Zelina Vega, so they were like, "Oh shit, quick, let's put it on Julia." We've got another other matches we'll probably talk about on this card where I feel like there was a similar sort of like shift in, oh, we don't know what to do, so let's just change or something. and hope fresh inspiration comes to us. It just seems to me like creatives don't know what to do with their champions once they got a champion. And
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, it's not meshing up well for, like, at this point, you're better off being an opponent in the running up to becoming a champion, because you're going to be featured more than the champion itself.
Yeah,
So
it's
I don't know.
yeah, and no, to make your point as well. I think one of those title matches, or talk about even defending on TV. I think only one match hasn't featured Rhea Ripley. So again,
Yeah,
it shows you where the focus is, isn't it?
exactly. It really does, and it's just kind of like it's not meshing up well for those that are trying to kind of make themselves something. I mean, we've seen this sort of like trial. They trialed and failed at Lyra, unfortunately, with her title run. And I feel like, again with Jay as well, his title run, they were just like, oh, I don't know what to do, so let's just change belts. So
Mm.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to make of this. Like, but it's not to say that, again, Monty and my sister pointed out some really good points about this match. This match was great. I think it was the most disappointing was the crowd to me, because again, they just slept on this match a little bit. And again, as you guys brought up, this really took me back to Raquel being Gonzalez and like that type of like epic NXT feud that they had, and they should have been more hyped than what it was from the live crowd.
Yeah. Right. So scores out 5. Monty, I got yours. So Gina, what would you give it out of 5?
I'll give it a 4.25.
4.25. Jaxie?
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 4.25 as well. Predictions: Gina went Raquel, the rest went Ripley. So Gina's on 1 and the rest are on 2. We've got Karrion Kross versus Sami Zayn next, and Sami got a hero's welcome. And of course, this was months of backstage interactions and vignettes resulting with Sami squaring off with the devil on his shoulder, so to speak. But again, this was all about Karrion Kross, and it was his talking that cost him one of the biggest wins of his career. He dominated Zayn for the better part of the matchup, but he talked trash. He turned into Drew McIntyre, basically. I hate to say it, but that's what he did, He backed the former Continental Champion into the corner and sprinted across the ring for the other, only for Zayn to meet him with the haluva kick for the victory, Gina, what were your thoughts on this matchup?
I thought this was a great match. I thought it let Sammy do his thing and have all the love in the world behind him, because we just know that everyone backs him in Saudi. But I also was happy to see Carrion just be on a pay-per-view in a match. I feel like he's done so much and also not been showcased enough. So for him to just be able to get onto this match card, I think is fair enough. I enjoyed the match between them both. I don't think it necessarily did much in terms of lowering things for both either of them, or even heightening things for both of them. I just think, they had to have a Sammy in a match, and so this was it. But again, I'm not mad at it. I was happy to see Carrion on the show, and I like that Carrion is coming out to his, previous music, because I think that suits his character much more better. So yeah, it was a good match all in all. And the crowd woke up for this, I noticed.
Yeah.
So I was just a bit bitter.
No, you're
But
right
okay,
to
so you'll
be.
wake up for this match that doesn't really have a storyline, but you can't, keep be woken up for the women's match. But okay, I'm not going to complain too much.
No. And again, and Jaxie, we just mentioned this as well. Talk about Ripley, but it seems Sami Zayn is one of like the golden children, shall we say? He's always going to get a position on the card. He's always got a purpose,
Mm. Yeah,
direction.
yeah. I mean, I think Sammy is in that category of can do no wrong in the crowd's eyes.
I think
Always
even in
being
Triple
seen as
H's
the
eyes.
yeah. I think he's always going to just be seen as that sort of next door neighbor hero type, lovable character. Like even when he was like, trying to do like be on the bad side, with the bloodline, he was the most beloved character, like he can just do no wrong. Um, you guys have brought up really good points. I did enjoy seeing Karrion Kross coming back out to his original music with Scarlett and just all that it brought. I just wish that there was a bit more to the storyline. Like, I don't really know what the outcome here is for either character or either wrestler. And what they've been doing at the moment with Carrion is just not much. So I just like I need them to kind of push go on Carrion at the moment because it seems to be everyone but creative that can see the popularity that Carrion has with the crowd. So it's just I don't understand why he's not being like pushed more than this. But who knows? Maybe this is the start of that. It's just for me at this point, I'm not sure what the purpose or the outcome of this match is yet. You know, hopefully we'll see. It's maybe just a slow burner to build this story. You know.
No, but I mean, we've seen again, we've seen the booking of Cross before. You know, someone who's
Mm,
popular with the internet and the fans, sells merch. You know, but because
mhm.
he's not part of the long-term booking or even
Yeah.
short-term, they give them a
Mm,
match at a PLE and say that
mm,
they didn't do it, they made a mistake, or they didn't make the most of it, and then that's them
mm.
done. Maybe
Yeah,
I'm wrong,
I
but
just don't know what the purpose or the outcome for this would be. Like again, good match between both wrestlers, but it's like what was the outcome of this to be? Like again, as much as I love Sammy, I'm also like, how many more losses are you going to give Carrion
mm,
until like he really becomes a redundant wrestler that everyone just sees as a jobber?
yeah.
You know, and again, what really sucks is that like in the same category you got the likes of like Andrade like kind of becoming a forgotten about wrestler after making an epic return as well. And it's just like, this is the sort of talent that is being currently wasted. And what I meant by being like, there could have been fresh new faces within the finals of the King of the Ring. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? That could have like
Yeah.
actually just spiced things up a little bit more. And I'm not saying that what Randy and Cody did wasn't great and needed and necessary and things like that in terms of storyline. But again, it's like how much more like are you going to invest in these characters and not invest in these ones that actually are producing really good content as well in the ring, but you just seem to sideline them, and so they've got this random match on a PLE where it's not like the outcome doesn't matter because it's not going to carry on. Nothing leads is going to lead to this from either wrestler for either wrestler. So I feel
Yeah.
like it was a good match, but it was just there to entertain the crowd because the crowd wanted Sammy, But
Yeah.
this did absolutely nothing to benefit Karrion Cross, even though he looked good.
Mm. Yeah, I agree with
So
it.
yeah,
One of the weird things I saw as well, Monty, I don't know about you, but Cross took back bumps. I mean, lots of them. I mean, I don't know if he did it to kind of render all the social media discourse about him not doing it or whether it was, but I just thought that's silly. But again, the bigger point not to talk about, Karen Cross is the character that I don't know. I don't know what his future's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to rain on the carrying cross. I love him parade, but I'm probably the reason why he's never gonna get any upward mobility. It is mostly because usually I love the character. I like him hitting people in the back of the head. I like what he's doing from a storytelling standpoint. But when he wrestles, I could care less for the most part. And that's probably the problem. That's probably a me thing. I'm not saying that's the way it should be for everybody, but for me, the star of this match, and here I go. I'm sounding like Hunter probably. But yeah, Sami Zayn, in my opinion, like it's him fighting underneath. It's him making you believe he's half dead from the offense of carrying cross that slowed the pace down to a snail like pace because that's how Carrion fights. And again, Carrion fights like somebody I'm not supposed to like. So don't get me wrong, I get it. That's
Yeah.
probably it's on purpose a lot of the time in his matches. But I'm just saying that's maybe that's what some people view, and that's why they don't care. Another reason why I'll never say that Karrion Cross, I will never predict him to win a match if he gets another big match. You know why? Because the internet loves him. And do we know who hates the internet? Triple H. He hates you guys. So, like, as long as you guys love Karrion Cross, like you said, James, he's gonna give him a bone every now and then
yeah,
because he's
lesson
getting
learned.
popular. Right.
Lesson
Because
learned.
hey, I'm sorry, you gotta think about that. He hates
Tim.
the people who love Karrion Cross right now, and
I
the
hate
internet
you.
loves him.
I hate you, Hunter. Okay.
Right. So I'm just saying, like, I get it. I understand why people. I get why he's getting the love he deserves. He's a great promo. He's done everything that they asked of him, like we talk about for many guys. That's why I agree with you overall, James. You're 100% right. He's right where a lot of people we know have been before. He's popular with the fans. He's getting over, but the company didn't do it. The company didn't give him the angle that got him over. The company didn't really make this character, because let's think about it. The reason why a lot of people really like him is that
Because
they're
it wasn't,
noticing
yeah, it wasn't their choice. That's why they didn't want to push him because it wasn't the company's choice. They didn't want to push him
exactly.
because of the fans' choice.
Like, do we know for sure that the company has always been on this bandwagon of Karrion Cross changing all of these characters who turn heel? Or is this Cross just doing work on social media, letting you know, hey, I talked to this guy before he turned heel? The only one that WWE is even acknowledged or giving Cross credit for is the New Day. That's the only one they even giving him credit for. The rest of the character work he's been doing, which, Cross was involved with this guy, and look what happened to Shinsuke. Cross is involved in this guy, and look at what happened to this person. They're not giving him credit for that. That's all Karrion Cross's own internet like tweets and his fans. That's been that type of work that he's been doing to garner that good faith. And like you mentioned, that's not what the company didn't do it. So they don't really have a motive in their opinion to really get behind it. So I don't know. Maybe we're wrong, and like you said, James, that he still has upward mobility and he has a shot. But I do think overall, y'all right. This match wasn't really he was in it, so we're happy for him. But this is still just another match about getting Sammy to that possible promised land. Maybe the end goal is Sammy's going to have to turn heel to become champion, and Karrion Cross ends up right 6 months from now or whatever. But like you said, will Karrion Cross even still be on the roster 6 to 7 months from now or whatever? Like, will it matter? I don't know. So we'll just have to see. And that's the problem when we don't really know. Like you said, with Sammy, we know he'll be here. You know what I mean? But when it comes to Cross, anything can happen when it comes to his presentation. Like, think about it. His run right now, a lot of it is being built off main event matches.
Yeah.
He's getting over off working main event. When the last time any of y'all watched main event? Exactly. So it's like, yeah, come on, man. Anyway, good luck to him. I'm not as big on Cross as everybody else, but I know, like you said, John, I've seen it just like you have. I understand hard work. I understand what it takes to get over. And when you get yourself over, it's always risky. Sometimes the company get behind it. Sometimes they let you die.
Yeah. I think when Michael Cole was calling you plodding on commentary rather than methodical or anything like that,
Right.
they've kind of given up the ghost. But we just, again, this could be the best thing for him if, he does get released, whether it is, and go back to that cross character. There's plenty more mileage. So, again, it's not the end of the journey. And it might turn him around. Who knows? That's why WWE is so crazy. Let's get the scores then. Gina, what would you give us that 5?
I'll give it a 4.
Give it a 4. Jaxie?
The 3.5 is fine.
Monty?
Assalamu alaikum, saying it. 3.75.
Yeah, I'm going to give it 3 3/4 as well. Predictions, we all went Sammy, apart from Jax. Are you feeling all right, Jaxie? What was the reasoning?
Well, I really thought that they were. Yeah, I was.
The
But I
internet.
went with the fans. I
The
went with
old
the fans.
Jaxie's
I
back.
did what Monty basically just pointed out that I did wrong, and I truly believed after creative listened to the fans with truth, we might get a Karrion Cross push. I hoped, and that was my mistake in ever thinking that creative were ever going to push Karrion.
Well,
Lesson learned.
it was good to see. So Jaxie and Gina on 2, James
Of course,
and
it was good
Monty
to see for you. I just
on
lost like
3.
my streak.
Yeah, I don't know why you did it. Again, the old Jaxie rears her ugly head. I don't know why. I don't know why. United States. I say that, and we know what's coming up next.
It's so
United
tough
States.
to say, what if, and then I had that devil on my shoulder going, what if,
Mm.
constantly. So, Yeah.
Yeah, and you were successful as carrying cross. Right, United States Championship match, Jacob Fatu versus Solo Sikoa. It started with the arrival of Jaxie Mateo and continued with the return of Tangaloa, everybody. That's what we wanted before culminating the debut.
T.
Yeah, come on, it's Saviour's back. Before the debut of the monstrous Hikuleu, well, I say unnamed by commentary team. Michael Cole didn't know what the fuck was going on about his name. It's Tengi Tongti. I don't know who that is. The 7-foot-tall member of the Bloodline obliterated Fatu, who had the match won. Even after all that interference, it was only Big Hick that stopped him, delivering a chokeslam to the announce table that set up this man werewolf for Sikoa to defeat him and become your new US champion. I mean, I should have seen it coming, but I just didn't. I
Taking
just
it
didn't.
all. Hey.
Yeah, I just did. I'm all gas and no brains. Jaxie, what were your thoughts?
Right. But this just annoyed me because it should have been Solo at Money in the Bank if it hadn't been for Jacob Fatu in the first place. You know, from like a story point of view, I'm gutted because I kind of thought that Jacob might be one of those people that sets a record for how long he holds on to the title with how ruthless and aggressive and everything he is. So I was a little bit shocked at how short a run he did get with this, but I can't say that I didn't see this coming with Solo eventually getting that title because, you know, they'd really flopped everything to do with his sort of turn on Roman and Paul Heyman and that lot. They've really been trying to build up the bloodline to really mean something. And then having like the hopeful expected return of Tangaloa not only changed things, but then, yeah, with Hikuleo then joining, this does wonders for Solo and what he's trying to build back with like his version of the bloodline. I just didn't think that they were going to hit go with all of this so quickly. But then I thought that they turned Jacob a little too quickly as well. Like I would have had Jacob maybe turn a lot later on in the year, maybe if they had like a big War Games match or something, had Jacob Fatu turn on Solo then. Like I wouldn't have hit go at Money in the Bank when he did do it. So yeah, I don't know. I had a very thin inkling that things could change in Saudi. And you know, we all know that Saudi likes big guys. So what way to bring in Hikuleo to that pay-per-view? And they seem to love doing that with the bloodline lately. Just, you know, debuting a new member at a pay-per-view event. They did this with Money in the Bank and Jaxie Mateo turning up. So, you know, I kind of expected there to be at least one bloodline member coming back. I know that Tamatonga's still injured and stuff, so I did think Tangaloa was going to turn up. Hikuleo was a nice surprise. I am happy with the outcome of this match, but I just think that this should have happened at Money in the Bank. You know?
Yeah, well, it didn't, did it? It didn't. You lost at
Well,
Money in the Bank, didn't
no,
you?
it didn't.
No, it didn't.
I did.
No.
And that was the only thing that screwed up me getting a freaking clean sheet.
Yeah, you didn't. Yeah. What was interesting though, I don't know if anybody said this. Where the fuck was Jimmy? Jimmy, where the fuck are you?
Yeah,
because Jimmy wasn't fucking there.
Hey man, that's a far flight, bro. He just stayed home.
Yeah,
Seth
maybe
Rollins,
he
Stink
just
Cash.
was
I'm
like,
not going to go into it. I'm not going to.
maybe he was just like, you know what, Jacob, you don't need me. I'm a.
Yeah, you got this.
back
That's little
here.
bro.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure just before like this Night of Champions, like the last previous interaction between Jacob Fatu and Jimmy, Jacob did say like, I don't need you or something like that. So Jimmy just took that seriously. He was like, well, I'm gonna stay home then. You don't need me at Night of Champions.
Right.
And then be all friendly on fucking SmackDown. Anyway.
Like nothing happened, like, oh mate, sorry I wasn't there.
Yeah. Anyway, calm down, James. Monty will say Solo's first title on the main roster. But this is a completely different Solo to the one that won the North American Championship, though. Do you know what I mean? Like completely different. And he's getting, and I don't want to say it, but he's showing signs of like personality of like The Rock. And I'm not comparing him to The Rock, but he's different to most bloodline. You know, most bloodline members are and all that kind of stuff. Solo has got that funny factor, but even mimicking Fatu and stuff like this.
Yes. You right on the money, man. Like him leaning into his personality, which, like I said, Jay is more is like way more serious. This is like lot of Jimmy. Like Jimmy can be really goofy at times, but like you said, I think Solo has that intimidation factor, and like because he walked around as an enforcer, he does the Samoan spike. He still has a little bit of that in him, that intimidation factor, but so it allows you to take him a little bit seriously physically. But like you said, the thing that's really getting him over with the people and getting that recognition is that ability to be able to just go out there and like show personality, not be afraid to make faces, not be afraid to mimic your opponent. You know, it's like it reminds me of like Young Rock, like as he was starting to differentiate himself from the nation. Like I was watching an old Raw as he was like becoming the Rock. He was still in the nation, but like the ego and the way he started to dress, he didn't wear the rest. He didn't wear what the rest of the nation wore and all of that. Like you could tell that that guy was a star. And I think that's what Solo.
That slow transition to the silk shirts and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's what Solo has done. Like he's slowly but surely, the same. Like Jacob is a whole nother type of monster, and I think that's where he's found out. Like, yeah, continue, make Jacob dominant, make Jacob scary, make him this, and I'm gonna be this. I'm gonna show you that I can have personality, I can be smart, I can be witty. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the thing that's really helped him develop and become who he is. And even this plan with bringing on Hikuleo the way he did makes him look like the smarter one, makes him look a little bit more cerebral in this situation, you know. So it really worked out. And, you know, I'm really happy for Solo because I was a fan of him, a street champion, like you said, in NXT. So I'm really happy that he's overcome a lot of the stuff that he had to deal with, a lot of losing. And he's still probably going to lose, but I think Solo is just, again, he's doing things that's going to make you not care about his win-loss record and really look at him a little bit differently in this new incarnation. I don't, like you said, I don't even know if you're gonna call it like I don't think you want him. You're not even gonna call this the bloodline. I'm not sure exactly. They need to come up with a new name, but this is a completely different thing right now. Solo got going for him, and I think that's the best thing too. Like differentiated from the bloodline.
I do think that Solo would benefit from changing the name. Yeah.
Right. I don't know. Like that, they did the MFT thing. Maybe you can just call it his family tree or whatever for Solo, and like that'll work too. Because again, I don't think it. I think the more you differentiate it, the more you let Solo be who he is, the bigger star he has the potential to become. And again, I really loved it. Like you said, the mimicking Jacob, you know, because even in a big match like that, he still got the personality to like be so. And I think it's like cockiness. Maybe that's what it is, the arrogance. I think that's really what's adding to his character, is that he's getting the arrogance, and now he has more people behind him, so they look more intimidating. So they have the potential to really possibly take over, and you know it can start with the U.S. title, but who knows? Like I know I wasn't thinking about this when he was in the Bloodline, but you never know. In a few years, you can see Solo in the main event picture with this type of stuff that he has going on, and I think that's the best part about it. And man, I'm really happy for Hikuleo, man. It's about time. You know, I know he had the potential. It's great for my boy Tonga Loa to be back. He got him a big partner to tag team with if they want to go to the tag division. Yeah, or he can wait for Tama. Like they got options now. And that's another thing. Like whenever Tama pops up, they can be even more intimidated. So as a New Japan lover, you know I love Solo faction. Like everybody in this faction is New Japan veterans. So, you know, me and Solo was watching New Japan together, obviously, the way this shook out. But yeah, man, this is really cool, man. And James, I'm so happy you decided to pick against Solos because now I can sing his theme song and be like, "We taking it all,
we're taking it all." Yeah, but
cool.
Can I just say
you went solo as well on this?
Yeah, he did. Of course he did. Because
cool.
he is I don't want to say it. I was going to call you say it now. I've never called you. I'm not going to call you it. There's no point. It was a motherfucker. Just actually made it sound worse than I did. That was, I can call you that, I suppose. That's fine. I don't want to start anything. Anyway, Gina, with Solo involved, With Solo now, he's pinned Roman. He pinned John Cena at Saudi Arabia last year, and now he's the first man to pin Fatu. Like I said, I thought the first man to pin Fatu, it would kind of be a bigger deal. I know like 8 people got involved, and there was that. And also, Gina, isn't it nice you're a kind of next stage wrestling fan, whether you know it or not? Because Hikuleo showed up, and you're like, I know that guy. And there's probably guys going, who's that? Who's that? You go, that's Hikuleo, you fucking mark.
Yeah, I definitely was the one screaming at the TV when you were just here. Who is this? Who is this? I'm like, it's Hikuleo. Don't act like you don't know him. But no, it was hilarious. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good match, and I kind of saw this coming. I think they need to showcase Solo a little bit more because he has got some of these big wins. But I suppose that's what they're doing now. But yeah, obviously it's at the help with his bloodline, and I'm glad to see Tonga Loa come back from injury. Is it Tonga that was out injured? I'm getting the names mixed up.
No, you're right. Right,
Yeah,
you're right.
okay.
Tonga.
Yeah, it was nice to see him come back from injury because again, he's kind of been out of sight, out of mind. So seeing him just on the screen again got me excited for, okay, great, he's back. What are we going to do with this now? Where are we going to go? And then to just add like Hikuleo onto that, you're just like, oh shit, okay, they're pulling the full works here with Solo. They're just like, no, we're going gun ho. We're just going to give him everyone and just make them the new biggest faction. So yeah, I'm not mad at it. I thought it was a great match and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, right. So scores then. Jaxie, will start with you. What would you give us that 5?
I'm giving this a 4.25.
4.25. Monty.
Yeah, I give it a 4. And also, Solo is undefeated in Saudi Arabia. So I'm just saying, he's different over there.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Yeah, but Fatu doesn't get pinned. Like, that's fucking stupid. Like, especially after, like Jack said, like 2 months of being champion. Oh yeah, great booking. Well done, Trips. Anyway, I'm not bitter. So Monty, give it 4. Gina.
Loser.
Yeah, 4.5.
Fuck you guys. And I'll give it a. Well, I gave it less than, but I'll give it a 4. Come on, I'm not petty. Predictions: we all went Solo apart from me, so it does mean that Monty is on 4 and the rest are on 3. Yeah. Well, we could all go down together. Queen of the Ring. Queen of the Ring final, Oscar versus Jade Cargill. Jade overcome an injured knee, again Empress of Tomorrow, and a crowd that was not nearly as behind her as they were her opponent to deliver Jaded and score the biggest win of her career at this point. Your new Queen of the Ring. Monty, what were your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think this is really when, like, I know you guys mentioned it earlier, because the people, I thought they did well for real, but you could tell like they went into it as much as they went for the men's matches. But like for this one, you really could tell a difference in like the crowd interest and that even though they were behind Oscar, which I can't be mad, I get it. I mean, it's Oscar, it's a legend, one of the greatest of all time. But to me, besides the crowd, which at this point in Saudi Arabia, I already mentioned that I'm worried about the women's Royal Rumble in January that's going to be there. Please, I hope they have something like just at least act like you give a damn, people. But anyway, besides that, as far as Jade kind of basically having to kind of not really, even though she's supposed to be like a face, she's not really getting face reactions here and all of that. Like that kind of made it disjointed. But I thought it was a fine match. My biggest issue is that this supposed to be the Queen of the Ring finals, and they didn't even go 10 minutes. And you had Cody and Randy's final go for 20. And I'm like, please make up your mind about Jade. Are you confident enough that is Oscar one of your best workers? If you think Jade can't go 15 minutes with Oscar, because like even Rhea and them got 15 minutes. So like if you don't think Jade can go 15 minutes with Oscar, then maybe she don't need to be in the Queen of the Ring final yet. So I'm one of the people who think Jade has improved enough and she should be able to at least go out there and be able to prove that she can go 15 minutes for Oscar. So this whole barely 9-10 minute match you give her and this supposed to be a match with stakes and it's supposed to mean something for SummerSlam, and you can't even give me a 10-minute match with Oscar. Like I said, somebody you can trust in the ring with somebody like Jade who may not have the experience. I don't know. That was just kind of frustrating to me, but I was happy for Jade because it was a great moment for her. Like you said, biggest win of her career. but the match was over too fast. It wasn't a lot of drama to it. You know what I mean? And that was about it. It was what it was. It was fine. But yeah, that's kind of my biggest takeaway is like you don't trust Jade enough yet, and you putting her in one of your main events of SummerSlam. You don't trust Jade enough yet to go 10, 15 minutes with Oscar. That's my thought.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I completely agree. I mean, it'd be polite to say, Gina, that this was a clash of styles, between the two. And again, I don't know if it was Jade or because let's not forget that Oscar's been out for over a
Right.
year, so to come back and do this, it is a little bit different.
Yeah, definitely. Oscar has only just returned, and we've never seen these two wrestle before. It's new territory, and I'm not saying that they needed practice beforehand, but I think especially with the lack of time, lack of crowd support, things like that, all these factors add up, and it does feel disappointing when you see kind of it feels like favoritism towards, one sex over the other when it comes to these matches when they should be on the same caliber. So yeah, it is disappointing when you look at all the facts side by side like it.
No doubt. And Jaxie, I mean, we should say the Storm outfit that Jay Cargo had on was a different fucking level. It's
Oh,
obviously her time now, but as Monty said, Jax,
It was wasted on that crowd.
I know it was. It wasn't
It
wasted
was
on me.
It
Don't
was
worry
wasted. No
about
so
that.
one
wasted
got
on that
hype.
crowd. Yeah, like
Honestly.
she looked so hype with it. She
Mm,
looked great. But it was so wasted. I hope she does bring that look back to, you know, not just even American, but maybe Western territory where where she'll get the greater appreciation for even that outfit.
yeah.
But she looked incredible. I think both of them looked incredible. I think you guys brought up like really great valid points. And that was going to be my main point was that this Queen of the Ring finals did not get the same treatment that the men's King of the Ring finals got, and the time was so short compared to Randy and Cody. And I get it as to where they based it as well. That probably had something to do with it. But like it was just an eye roll for me because it's like, well, you say that, we're taking all these great steps forward in the future towards women's wrestling, but then you just kind of do them dirty still, so you're not really fully like supporting women's wrestling when you're not even able to, signify giving them the same amount of time you've allotted the men's finals. So
Yeah.
that was going to be my main point and my main bit of disappointment, along with the dead crowd. As Monty said, it was so much more obvious in this match compared to the Rhea Raquel match. So yeah, it was disappointing from that point of view. But again, I think that both women still did put on the best performance that they could within 10 minutes. So they did what they needed to do, and overall, I feel like this was the necessary outcome for the story that they're clearly telling here, especially with her being involved with Naomi and things. But I could have easily had Oscar win this and just give us Oscar v EO at SummerSlam, and that would have been just as sick,
Yeah, that's true. That is true. The finish did look awful. And again, talking about Jay Cargill, I don't know
Yeah.
why they don't lean towards more of the Charlotte Flair type character of, kind of queen and arrogant and being the best. Because if you look at Cargill, no one looks better than her. Do you know what I mean? So again, perception is key, I think, when it comes to the
yeah.
character.
Jay, you really just hit it on the money. Like, say what you want about Jay and AEW, but that whole attitude and everything she carried herself with, like that was part of why she became as TBS champion and was great because she was allowed to just be cocky and be that arrogant athlete. Like that is her bread and butter. So I don't know why we taking so long to kind of get there, and right now
Yeah.
she just right now her character is just bland WWE babyface, to be
Yeah.
honest. And like she can be so much more than that. And I know she's doing the stuff with Naomi, so we probably gotta give it a little time. But like whenever she's able to finally be cocky and be herself, I don't know when they're gonna get there, but I think she'll really be able to settle in. And then that'll fit her wrestling style too better.
Yeah, because again, it's like as a fan, can you relate to a god? Do you know what I mean? Like, how can you feel sorry for
Exactly.
Jade when she
Exactly.
is this kind of dominant? And do they know that the crown's gone ahead, right? I don't know about, Cody. I can maybe Takeoff and Jay. But I can't think of two better wrestlers in WWE to actually wear crowns as an entrance and get away with it. But again, maybe I'm just silly about that, you know. Anyway, out of 5 for this matchup, Monty, what would you give it?
I give it 3.5. I thought it was solid, but like had potential to be better in so many different ways. It wasn't perfect. And yeah, I think I want more from my women's King of the Ring finals. I mean, Queen of the Ring finals. But yeah, 3.5. I think is fair.
Yeah, without doubt. Gina
I also went 3.5.
and Jax.
Yeah, I think that's a perfect score there with 3.5.
Yeah, I've gone 3.5 as well. Predictions, we all went Jade, so Monty is on 5. The rest are on 4. And Monty is one away from a perfect score as we head to the main event. And I'll tell you something, I must have seen that yin and yang video about Cena and Punk 100 fucking times. It would be Raw,
Yeah,
Smackdown, and the kickoffs. And
yeah.
this year, and every time I saw it, I was like, oh,
Honestly, the amount
I
of
can
times they
skip 4
repeat
minutes.
stuff,
Yeah.
this is ridiculous. I felt like I, had started to quote the background
Corey Graves starting
overall
the
Corey
yin
Graves
and yang
and
of a
Michael Cole.
wrestler.
Yeah.
Anyway, it is main event time. Undisputed WWE Championship match. CM Punk versus John Cena. 2 iconic superstars of the last 20 years. Rivals with countless classics encounters between them. They squared off for one last time. And what started as a battle between 2 all-time greats who know each other incredibly well in a match that had the fans involved hanging on every move. It descended into chaos with the arrival of Seth Rollins, Bronson Reed, Bron Breakker, and Paul Heyman. But don't worry, Penta and Sami Zayn arrived to counter them. Cena showed flashes of the upstanding, virtuous one he used to be as Rollins clocked Punk with a Money in the Bank briefcase. Cena absolutely obliterated referee Charles Robinson as he rushed to the ring. Of course, we've all seen that meme of him running for, and this time Cena took him out. But then Cena capitalized, scoring a quick pinfall victory over Punk and costing Rollins the chance to cash in the guaranteed title opportunity for the victory. Right, okay, there's a lot to go on here. Jaxie, I think we want to talk about the match and everything, going on there. But I don't understand the commentary's point of it was Seth Rollins' plan to cost Punk when Cena stopped Seth from winning, if you know what I mean. But, I mean, what were your thoughts on the match as well?
I was I don't know if they confused themselves with their own commentary on that, because I was very confused by what they were trying to actually say during that time. I thought the match was good. I thought that the involvement of Seth made things a lot more interesting. But yeah, I think overall, like the crowd were like just lit for this, they definitely wanted this match. And like you have to give it to them, like everything that they could have thrown into this match, like they threw into it, and it looked good. Like it had the crowd reacting in all these different ways. There were certain moments that I felt like stood out the most. I think the most memorable part was with the ref. John Cena taking out the ref. That was kind of funny. I didn't mean to laugh, but like the way that he just took him out reminded me of when Keith Lee used to just come from out of nowhere from the camera and just like he did that iconic one to Adam Cole back in the NXT where Adam Cole just got decked straight into the crowd. Even when I think about it now, that is the moment. That's what I thought of in that moment with John Cena, and pretty much like that was one of the standout highlight moments for me. But I think the match was good. I think that there was always going to be some sort of like tomfoolery that was going to cost Punk the match, because that has been Punk's kind of like MO this whole year, hasn't it? Every opportunity he's gotten, someone else has gotten themselves involved and screwed him over. It's never really been like a clean no. Punk didn't get the opportunity, which is like always sort of like begging the question of when will Punk be given a legit opportunity without any interference. It's starting to become a bit of a running gag when you think about it. But yeah, like I think overall, this is exactly what I expected for the outcome of this match.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that covered it.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, Punk was sweating buckets before the bell, so I was like, oh, I'm not really sure how it's going to go. But
Yeah.
Monty, as you know as well, you know, for the matches, the chemistry together has always been good. I mean, the pace was slower, but I think it helped both up until the shenanigans. You know, I think this was actually quite a really well-paced match for what Cena is now, and Punk.
Yeah, I think with the crowd and then like you mentioned that pace, I think everything kind of went together perfectly in my opinion. Because I really was into this. I've seen pretty much every time Punk and Cena has ever wrestled. So this was, in my opinion, I thought was beautifully still of quality. Like it's kind of crazy how it's like they didn't after all those years they still feel like really great wrestling. Like I don't want to say wrestling soul, but I guess that's a good fair. Like that's one of the people Punk is wrestling soulmates with. Like
Mm.
Samoa Joe is obviously another one, and he's had great feuds with a lot of other people. But like Cena and him was always one of those. Just they always had that unspoken chemistry and I think it was still here. And I think, like you mentioned, the energy in Saudi Arabia, like the fact that they were really into this match to the extent that they were, added to that. And I think the shenanigans on top of it, when you don't think too hard about it, I thought it was fine too. But like other than like, I mean, I know once again we have somebody flying a long way to be a hater because
And Jimmy
because
Uso can't be fucking bothered.
right,
Uh,
right. We got somebody flying a long way to be a hater, pretty much. Because, like, yeah, you can say that, and then maybe Seth was being a hater, but at the same time, he's like, maybe I can kill two birds with one stone, and become champion too to make it even worse. So, who knows? But at the same time, like I said, if you don't think too hard about the shenanigans and why it's happening and all of that, then sure. But yeah, I think, like mentioned earlier, we had to expect some shenanigans, not only because of what's been happening in the pump, but we had to expect shenanigans because of basically Cena's entire run has been something, exactly like something's going
yeah.
to happen at some point. So, I did like at the end though. I really enjoyed, and maybe it was just me falling for Cena, being sympathetic for a second or not. But I did like the whole shaking hands and the respect there at the end before Cena predictably tried to cheat
Yeah.
him, and then we get to the finish and all of that. I thought it was really cool because again, when you really think about it, Cena was always on the right side in those situations. So even I think even Punk, I thought it was cool that Punk kicked it because Punk would have did the same thing if we thinking about Punk for real. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm such a diehard fan of both guys. Like I'm a Punk guy, but I was also like again, I'm a Cena child. I grew up with Cena, so I get it. But at the same time, this is probably my favorite match of the entire retirement run so far. And I don't know if that's saying much because it's been a lot of ups and downs with this run, but I think so far this is as far as like you said, as far as the way Cena looked and as far as the way everything turned out, this was by far the best match if you really think about what we've gotten out of Cena. So I think that guy on the internet was right. They pedaled Punk down to save John Cena's retirement tour, and it worked because in my opinion, I really liked this match. It was really good.
Yeah, even Punk said I was mentioned on SmackDown, but he did say to Cena, I think it was caught on camera as well, like, I'm really going to miss you. So you can tell,
Right,
as you
it's
said,
love,
even with the
man.
pipe bomb, Punk had respect for what Cena was. So even
Exactly.
with that, and again, Gina, there's a couple of things. First off, John Cena just acted like a babyface in this matchup, which again, just turned him already. And secondly, Triple H has got this habit, I don't know if anybody else has noticed it, of entrances during the main event matches. I don't mind interference, but not like full blown entrances. And
Pimp
we've
was
had,
doing his walk.
yeah, exactly. Like we don't need pyro and music, and it's not Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble. Do you know what I mean? I mean, Gina, what were your thoughts?
I mean, my thoughts were quite similar to Jaxie's thoughts. The main thing I took from it was the ref, but Isn't it the same ref that did that longest run? And
That's
he
what I'm
was
saying. That's Robertson did the
well.
long run in and they've recreated it. Yeah.
Yeah, like fair play to him. I love the fact that after the show he tweeted, he
Yeah.
tweeted John Cena
He's
calling him a
still,
bastard.
I think he was still knocked out as well. He sent a picture of him at ringside a couple of hours later. Still knocked out.
So no, it was an entertaining finale, but like you said, it did feel like John felt more like the face in this, and I don't know if that's because the crowd were kind of more behind him, and they had their own kind of beef with Punk anyway. So, and again, with all the added shenanigans, I had a feeling this was going to happen, but when this happened with Solo and his bloodline and the introduction of Hikuleo, sometimes you're just like, oh my gosh, are you going to do this for every match? Where you just have constant interference and a million people come running out. So yeah, in a way, it was kind of a repetitive of like Solo's match, but it was also interesting to see the shenanigans that went down. I wasn't surprised to see the crowd was more behind John. So yeah, kind of just turning back to a face because clearly the heel gimmick isn't working. But yeah, regardless, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good way to end out the show.
Yeah, without doubt. Jaxie, give us your score out of 5 for the main event.
Oh, I thought this was a good match. I'm gonna go for a 4.5.
4.5. Monty?
Yeah, this is a really good match. 4.5.
Well, and Gina?
Same 4.5.
4.5. Yeah, I'm going to give it 4.25. Predictions. We all went Cena, so it means final scores. James, Jaxie, and Gina on 5, but Monty on 6, and a
Hey, we taking
perfect
it all.
score.
Hey,
Ah,
taking it
ah.
all.
If my
It
Hey,
stupid mind
hurts.
didn't go carrion, I could have been winning the same victory right now.
Yeah,
Damn
and
we taking
Solo.
it.
You know what I'm saying? 2 months and 2 events, and you let him in.
I know, I know.
I can't be responsible for stopping him. All right.
I am the king of the
I'm
world.
trying my best, James. Okay, I'm trying.
Well, someone's got to. Someone's got to. Anyway, so it means bonus
I got
league.
AEW. I got
Bonus
WWE.
league. Gina on
I got the
10,
bonus
Jaxie
league.
13, James on 14, Monty is on 16 now. The WWE league is just fucking stupid. I'm on 2, Gina's on 4, Jackson 5, Monty is on 6. Just makes me
Oh, I
sick.
mean, how many
Um,
WWE shows has it even been this year? I feel like I done won like almost all of them.
You're not getting a
Let's
fucking. You're
go.
not getting a point for winning all the shows. I'm not doing it. Anyway. Overall. Whew, calm down. We want match of the night. Match of the night's quite difficult. From the scores, it looks like I went Cody Orton, Jaxie main event. Monty was main event, and Gina, you went Fatu and Solo and the main event, both on 4.5. Which one are you going to pick?
Oh, which ones did I do?
Fatu Solo and the main event.
I'll go with Fatu Solo.
Yeah, well, I've written that down. Thank fuck. So that was lucky. So then, Monty, I'll start with the winner of today's show. Who is your MVP and what's your rating out of 10?
You know what? Since he got my favorite theme song in WWE because most of them are ass these days, I'm taking it all. Solo my MVP. Hey, and I keep winning these predictions. I'm taking them all. All in next week. I'm taking it. Evolution. I'm taking it. I'm taking it all.
What would you score it
Taking
out
it
of
all.
10? What would you score it out of 10?
It's about an 8.5.
8.5. Right. 8.5. I'll get over it. Jaxie, rating and MVP, please.
Um, I'm gonna go because I went main event for match of the night. I'm gonna go Solo for MVP. For thinking out the box, being creative. And I'll go 8.25 for rating.
8.25. And Gene, the same questions to you.
I'll give it an 8, and I'm gonna give Jade my MVP.
Oh, that's nice. I'm going to give mine to Solo, and I'm going to give it an 8.5. But it's interesting. I think this is the worst rated PLE this year, because I don't think any scores come past 4.5. So again, like Monty, I think you mentioned earlier, the show started off well, but just kind of maybe didn't live up to the expectation, but still 8.5. Move on to the press conference. We see CM Punk leaving the ring. Then we've got Jackie Redmond and Byron Saxton. Rhea joined the panel. She was worried she was going to fall on the table. I mean, I think we all were, and that's why the referee was trying his fucking best. We got Drew McIntyre chants because, well, we need them. They're giving highlights of the show. So what I would do, if you don't want to sit there watching a 3.5-hour PLE, just go onto the post show and they'll just show you everything within a 45-minute period, you know. Triple H joined the panel. So this is officially the post show rather than the press conference. He didn't say much, just the usual thanks. Solo joined the panel. He gave Jimmy and Jacob a chance. And he says, sort it out before someone else shows up. He says no yeet as well. He's all gas and no brakes. He really, really enjoyed himself. It's a bit of a shame, really. Usually I like to talk about the press conference, but there was really nothing else going on there. So move on to Raw with Rhea Ripley. Start the show soon, interrupted by EO. It's official for Evolution. And Jaxie, how lucky are we, Lo? Because I know Evolution's kind of shoehorned in, but on the same weekend, we're going to get EO versus Rhea Ripley and Tony Storm versus Mercedes Moné, you know?
I mean, that is a really great lineup for a weekend of wrestling, you know? So you can't complain there.
You can't. AJ Styles trying to get glasses over. JD and Finn took on the New Day for the tag titles. I'm a fan of Xavier's trunks. Anyway, weird to see two heel teams, but Finn did work babyface. He was kicking out of everything, and we've got new tag team champions. I mean, well, maybe we'll see a face run, you know. And thanks to Finn, Rox is now tag champion, and there will be a fatal 4-way match at Evolution.
I mean,
and also,
I did notice that the Judgment Day were being like cheered by the fans as if they were like the faces here. So that was a bit of a weird change up that we've only seen really happen with Dominic Mysterio, not necessarily the Judgment Day, but now they're getting that treatment as well and slowly kind of being the underdog faces. I don't know.
I mean, Monty, can you see the Judgment Day actually turning face?
I mean, I don't think they should change how they act, though. I mean, if it naturally happens and they turn face, sure, and they just get popular, cool. But I think it don't really go well with whatever aesthetics they had. Like even Dom, I know you said Dom's face, but really since WrestleMania, he's kind of returned to just being cowardly old Dom again. So I don't want them to change how they act. I mean, people can like them, but yeah, I don't really see babyface. I think it's just too much stuff. Again, maybe when Liv comes back, she takes exception to them trying to be good guys or something. I don't know, but I don't really see that being a long term. I think we just don't. I just think the heat is still there. This is just how you know that they wasted the New Day's tag title run, because the heat, in my opinion, against the New Day is still there with the crowd. They just haven't been given anything interesting to do since winning the tag title. So I think this had more so to do with who they was fighting than it had to do with Judgment Day being good guys.
But another title run that didn't really go anywhere for the New Day, you know. But
right.
like to talk about, there's a battle royal at Evolution.
I'm sure that they haven't had any title defenses since WrestleMania, or they've had like 2 matches since WrestleMania, and they're meant to be the tag champions.
Yeah.
They're just not on TV, and they're not being given a storyline.
Well, when Judgment Day was the heel tag champion, they never wrestled either. That's my point. I'm saying Triple H hates the tag team title.
This is literally going all the way back to what we were discussing at the very beginning of this pod, where the champions seem to be forgotten about the moment they become champions, and it just all becomes about the opponents. Like they kind of just leave the champions in catering at this point.
Good news though, we did get Ludwig Kaiser sighting, looking at American Made, and I'm not going to say he wasn't Americano, but I mean, unless Grande Americano grew like fucking 5.5 inches. We'll see what happens.
Put anybody behind the damn.
Yeah, exactly. Like this is crazy. Rusev is the Andrade of 2025, but luckily Sheamus is here to smash it up. Rusev got the wins. We shall see where it goes. But again, I mean, Jaxie, we've spoken about Rusev as well. This was a good match, but the crowd are just not there at the moment, are they?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's taken them a bit longer to kind of re-warm back up to Rusev. I'm not necessarily sure if that's entirely like true, but or more to do with the way that he's currently been booked so far. But there's just a little bit of disconnect at the moment between the crowd and Rusev as a wrestler. I'm really not entirely sure. Like he's kind of become like uh he's like he came back in as like a heel, but like he's not really doing much heelish tactics at the moment. And I don't know if that's because of lack of like, screen time and not being able to do much. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe doing this stuff with Sheamus will actually reinvigorate something for him. I'm just not sure how else
I
to
hope
go
so.
about it or his booking at the moment.
Yeah, Lyra is getting in Bailey's face too much for my liking. Luckily, they had a match become number one contender. Unfortunately, it ended in a draw. We then had Gunther said he could beat Goldberg in 3 minutes. When he said who would be next, Seth Rollins made his presence felt. He told the champ the briefcase controls both world titles. CM Punk chased Rollins away and pushed over Gunther, and Seth ran right into LA Knight. And Monty, you know how well you're being booked when you're kind of like a secondary character in a feud here. But I mean, LA Knight, Seth Rollins, at least it gives LA Knight something to do, I suppose.
Not only that, you know how well you've been booked when I don't even know what the hell show you're supposed to be on anymore.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started on the draft, I tell you. Uh, and then the main event. Well, before I should say, Karen Cross did not take his loss very well. He Aaron judged Sami Zayn. So Zayn wasn't. I've seen people take a loss better. Zayn wasn't 100% when he teamed with Penta to take on the Bronze. Breaker got the pin on Sammy with a spear. Jey Uso arrived with a chair, sorry, and a monster pop. Well, I suppose 2 cheers, and he cleared house to
Motherfucker.
close the show. Yeah, I mean, come on. Anybody that's like Jey Uso, look, he is the most over face that WWE have got right now, apart from John
Yes.
Cena, ironically. Like, that's
Right.
probably the two guys.
Right. Like by far. Like
Yeah.
he's like I remember we talking about Cody and it's like Jay is so over right now. He's past Cody easily at this point. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy that I don't know, man. It's when you have a pop like that and you just come in to make a save, and like I see the signs and you see the T-shirts in the crowd. Like the people waited all night to see Jay, and the only thing he did was do that little bit on the show at the end. That's how you know you over, bro. Like it's getting
Well,
all. I'm not saying he know what nobody does the Austin pop, but we getting there. It feels like almost.
yeah. I completely agree. SmackDown was pre-taped so they could have July 4th off. Fucking hell. But you don't know how happy it makes me that SmackDown is 1 hour and 20 minutes again. Oh, so happy about it. Cody opens the show. Orton comes out to show his respect. The Alpha Drew McIntyre returns and he looked great. Muscles popping.
I need
Oh,
that shirt.
oh my God, great. Yeah. Bored at work. He got an RKO for no reason, just for speaking the truth. I'm sick of it, you know? And now this confirms Orton for McIntyre for Saturday night's main event. But again, it wasn't the only thing Aldous was doing. He proposed Charlotte team up with Bliss for the number one contendership match, which Flair accepted. And Bliss and Flair beat B-Flab, Meechin, Secret Hervis, and Bliss pinned Albert and was hugged by Charlotte after the match. Gina, I don't know about you, but this ain't right, man. I mean, Nikki Cross is right there. If that's not the end game, I don't know what. I don't
I
care
don't
about
know
this
what they're
oddball
playing
tag
at.
team.
Like, how have they not incorporated Alexa and the Wyatt
I don't
Six
know.
and bringing the Wyatt Six fully together? It just doesn't make sense. You would have just thought that they would have rekindled that tag team.
Maybe she's
And
just not creepy anymore. Okay.
but she's still bringing out Abby or whatever that creepy doll is.
Yeah.
Tell her to
Hey,
left that behind then if she's leaving that persona behind.
hey,
But when you see
we
that
all
doll,
have
you think of Bray Wyatt, you can't
we
help
all
but
have
put them
ties
both
to things
together.
from our past. Everybody.
Well, we all know that they're just pairing Charlotte with Alexa because they're trying to help Charlotte get some backing behind her. Because everyone just hates her, and they're like, who
Everything's
can
about
help?
Charlotte. Oh my
Who can
god.
help? No, it is. They're like, who can help get some cheers behind Charlotte? Let's just tag her with
Well,
Alexa
Ashley, I
and
cheer
see
for
how
you
that
every
works.
day. I love you, Charlotte.
Anyway, speaking of the White Six, Aldis made one member of each team face the White Six, which turned out to be Berto, Johnny Gargano, Montez Ford, and Chris Sabin. Eric Rowan pinned Chris Sabin to win the match. Gargano didn't want to tag. I really enjoyed this. This is what the White Six should be doing. Maybe not just focus on the tag title. Wouldn't mind seeing like a Howdy IC or US title, whatever the fucking championship is on SmackDown. But do you know what I mean? I thought this was good. Tiffany Stratton
That was really fun just to
It
see
wasn't
all
it?
the different tag teams really trying to
Yeah.
work together to take down the Wyatt Six. And this is how the Wyatt Six should be showcased. You know, again, we're saying that the tag team division is struggling right now. Well, you got the Wyatt Six who are kind of carrying the tag team division without it being around or involved with the tag belts. So again, it just shows you where Triple H's priorities lie.
That's what I'm saying. He can book a good tag division, but only on SmackDown. You know what I mean? Like he can't do. I can't do it on NXT or Raw. What are you talking about? You know. But anyway, we got Tiffany Stratton getting interrupted by Jade Cargill. Tiffany calls out Trish Stratus, who responds and accepts Tiffany's challenge for Evolution. Yes, TS versus TS. Naomi attacked Jade backstage. Jaxie, what are your thoughts on possibly the two blondest women having a match at Evolution? It's going to keep a certain percentage of people very happy, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I was very happy. I'm always happy and excited to see Trish, you know, but did I need this to be at Evolution? No. I think Trish could have been put in a different match. I think Tiffany could have been put in a different match, but okay. Just because you tagged once, now you should face each other. Okay. That's all I'm gonna
Why
say.
nobody earned a new damn title shot?
Like
Yeah,
everyone,
exactly.
but like it's just an unspoken rule now that all legends automatically just get given a title shot, and I just don't really understand why they need to be in a title shot picture. They could be in a match at Evolution, but why does it always have to be like instantly just invited to go for the title, the championship title? Also, like 9 times out of 10, when it's not someone like a John Cena or someone who's confirmed to be coming back for a certain amount of time, when it's someone like a Trish Stratus that only turns up every now and again, you know, like how are you supposed to take seriously? Oh, okay, so there is going to be a change of title belt at Evolution then. Like I see this being a good
I
match.
also think it
That's a
doesn't
2 week
help.
deal.
I also think it doesn't help that there's not really been a consistent like storyline for like Tiffany recently. So it's like, okay, they're going into Evolution. It's just this Legends match rather than building up like a possible, you know, storyline with somebody else on the
Feud.
roster.
Yeah, they could have had a
I
feud
don't
that was
think like it's a
consistently
bad thing that she's
going.
facing Trish. I think it's actually going to be a good match between them both. But I think, yeah, I think because Tiffany's not had her own storyline, she's just been kind of in this Nia feud for the past few months, and you know, people, it's not really been anything built specifically, and they're like, okay, yeah, let's just bring Trish in for this Evolution match then. So again, I think that's what is more makes it feel a little bit more depleting, is that like Tiff hasn't had that storyline, and then now it's just Trish now. So yeah, it's not that it's a bad thing. I think they're going to give a great match, but it would just be nice if like after this with Trish, like Tiffany could actually have like another storyline that's not Nia Jax for this title. I
Yeah,
think that's
it's not.
that's what it is.
But this is the issue again. It's nice to have like an old story and a connection, but it's like with Rhea Ripley with the Judgment Day, with Tiffany Stratton, with Trish, or you know even with Nia Jax. It's like they can't get out of that 8 months. Do you know what I mean? They just can't move on to anything fresh. It's even with Punk and Rollins at this moment in time. Do you know what I mean? That feud's been going fucking God knows how long. It just seems like I said, fresh challenges coming along is not a thing at this moment. But we can hope. I think that's the thing. Anyway, we got Andrade and Ray Phoenix defeating Fraxium. We got This Is Awesome chance, but already Fraxium are just waiting in line. Tensions balls between Damian Priest and Aleister Black. Black versus Truth is the match next week. And then Solo said, welcome to the newest member of the family, Tala Tonga. This group is nothing like the Bloodline. Are you sure? This group is way more dangerous. These are my MFTs, my family tree. The family is complete. I mean, Monty, what about Tama? He must be sitting at home. It's Bobby Fish all over again, isn't it? Tama Tonga sitting at home, and then all of a sudden he's going, well, what about me? Well, am I not part of the group?
Yeah, I was hoping he didn't do that on purpose, and then we get like a Tama mad at Solo angle when he come back or whatever. But yeah, definitely an interesting choice of words there. I don't know if he was on purpose or not, but yeah, we know it's not complete because you can't have Tonga Lord without Tama Tonga. Come on now, come
No,
on, you
come
can't
on.
have. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean,
Yeah, you
then,
can't have gorillas of. Could you
right,
just,
exactly. Just
like,
yeah, just nah, it's not right. It's not right. We need Tama. Uh, and yeah, that's the way it's supposed to be. But we'll see. We'll see. For now, maybe he's setting us up. Maybe the family complete to how you forget about Tama. And then at SummerSlam when he fighting Jacob again or whatever, Tama shows up, and helps him there. I don't know. Maybe that's what's going on.
well, it didn't help Solo get him from getting his ass kicked in the car park to start the night. And then Jacob teamed with Jimmy, who just kind of was like, yeah, bro, oh, you lost the US title. Oh, sorry, bro. Like, I went there. Don't worry about it. They took on Solo and Jaxie Mattel in the main event. Jacob pinned Solo to get the win for his team. Post match, Tonga Lower gave for two. It's going to be difficult for me. A triple power bomb through the announce table. And also, I will say, I would moan about the heads of state advertising, but I watched it, and as long as you don't take it seriously, it is a lot of fun. But anyway, Jaxie, SmackDown. I quite like Solo, even though, Hickley's like, stand here. He seems to be in complete control of the group. And even though Jacob did get the win, they got the heat back. And Hickley does look like a monster.
Yeah, and I think that this was probably just something to kind of give back towards Jacob to not make him look completely incompetent. But as you said, I think this could be the start of, like, a really great, strong, formidable group if done correctly. So depending on the way that things go moving forward and how Hikuleo gets booked, this could still be something like big. So it's definitely something worth looking out for,
Yeah, without a doubt. And we're basically up to date now. We know the weekend we're going to have Saturday night's main event and Evolution, but we've just spoke about Night of Champions and Gina. I just want to get your thoughts on WWE. It's not really a month, but from Night of Champions, from where we've been to where we're going, what are your thoughts?
Um, I'm kind of indifferent, really. I'm still intrigued to see where things will go and how they will let things play out. But I do think that there needs to still be like some major changes, especially with the tag division and what they're going to do. Are you going to make New Day face again? Or are you going to keep them heels? Are you going to do something more with them now they're not champs, seeing as you do more with the people who are not the champs? Like, a lot of questions come out from the decisions they've recently made, and it'll be intriguing to see what comes out of SummerSlam and Evolution, but it would be nice to see them just try to create more storylines that are not revolved around championships, so that when there are storylines around championships, it actually makes it feel more impactful again, because I think that's what we're losing. The impact that these champions should hold and command, is getting a
Yeah.
bit lackluster. So hopefully, yeah, WWE finds a way to turn that around over the next few weeks.
Yeah, and again, we should say as well, for an event called Night of Champions with 6 matches, there was 2 title matches. So I know you have to fill out, Raws and SmackDown before. Like I said, there's some work, and like I said, Triple H at the moment is going through maybe one of his toughest periods. So it's an interesting SummerSlam with everything that's going on as well. But that is it. Don't forget, across all social media, X at the WNR Podcast. I'm at the WNR Pod James. You can find the entire WNR team on the banner, also now on Blue Sky, WNR Podcast, and Reddit. Jaxie, where can people find and follow you?
You can find me on Twitch, Instagram, and Twitter at Jaxie Scarlett.
And Monty?
At my Monty Pod on Twitter. That's where I'm at.
And Gina?
You can find me on them at Purple Pain.
The Double N also on Facebook and Instagram. Send us an email at doublenpodcast@gmail.com and YouTube podcast. Same time on YouTube to do SoundCloud on your phone. Also Spotify and iTunes where you can download, subscribe, rate and review there. So that is it. Just say as well with YouTube, we've again hitting records, shall we say, a record breaking month last month. So we appreciate everybody who is liking us and viewing and subscribing and all the other jazz as well. Talk about upcoming episodes. Well, this is interesting now. The upcoming schedule we've got next weekend will be our New Japan catch-up show. I know you guys are so excited for this. We've got Sakura Genesis, Dontaku, and Dominion. And we're going to catch up with New Japan before we start, before the G1 does start. July 19th, we'll have All In, which will be an AEW catch-up. And then July 26th will be NXT Update, Great American Bash, with 4 episodes of NXT. And then August 2nd will be the SummerSlam party, the very famous WNR party as it was. And we'll have a mega-size show because we've got Evolution to review, Saturday night's main event, and predictions as well for SummerSlam. Until then, I've been James Lyons Lewis, joined by the fantastic Jaxie Scarlett. Jaxie, you went wrong just once, but it cost you.
It cost me big time. You know, the pressure is on. I will get my clean sheet soon. I will get it. I know it. I know it.
Yeah, I keep shit in the bed. And then Mind of Monty. I actually said in the group chat, you make perfect score your bitches, and then you got a perfect score.
I just want to let you know that Jackson said last time that she was going to get her perfect sheet for Night of Champions. And it didn't happen. I got a perfect sheet. So I want you every week, every time we do this, Jackson, keep saying you're gonna be perfect.
Don't call me out like that. How are you going to call me out like that?
I'm just saying. I need that. I need
Stop
it.
repeating what I said.
I need it. I need it. James sucks right now. Gina lost the G site. I need you. I need you.
Listen, Monty, stop calling me out like that.
Motivate me, please.
Whoa.
I need you.
I almost had you. I almost had you. I will get you.
That's why I'm talking. And that's why I'm doing you like this, because I need some competition right now. I mean, come on, AEW is not even close. I mean, I might not even watch All In and beat y'all. I mean, like, come on, man. Like,
do you know what? Shut up, Monty.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Anyway, let's leave it. We'll leave it until we get.
Oh, my fault. I'm being humble. My fault.
Yeah. And of course, the genius of Gina and Gina, just between us two, because you know those two got some egos on them. If we've got NXT, All In, and Evolution, so if we get 3 of them right and perfect scores, we're back in the game. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. My crown is just a little crooked at the moment, but it will get back on top.
Yeah, we got this. Anyway, thanks for listening, everybody, and bye.